Oh,
Hello.
Well, fancy meeting you here.
I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's been sitting there for a little bit talking.
Oh god.
How did you get there? Yeah.
I showed up, and here I was. Sam, talk about yourself for a minute while I open this gin.
Hello. I'm Sam. I'm a voice actor and performer from Australia. You can find me on Twitter at @the_realsammyp. I'm currently doing a guest spot on the Monster Hearts game on this channel, Daybreak Prep, which you should watch.
Nice.
You should catch up on. There's a lot of it. I don't apologize.
I
feel like when you get past like 3 8-hour sessions in a row, guest spot is a relative term.
Look,
A relative term.
yeah, I think I've talked before. Like when I first came in, I did a couple of episodes in season 1. It sort of culminated in one of the best like info drops I've ever got to do as a player. We may have had one this previous episode that was like on par, but kind of because it wasn't that I had information that I could like surprise everyone else with. I had information that I got surprised with. Like I got to have the moments when your reaction and the character reaction is both just what? What?
Okay, I now have to go watch that just entirely based on Shawnee's reaction. I need to go watch this.
It is. I cut the episode down into like scene chunks that are now up on YouTube, and I had to stop and watch it again because I have never had such a moment as the MC of Monster Hearts. When you make a calculated decision that's based on a player, not necessarily the character probably also, but a player having a very specific understanding of something, and then that player does not have the understanding of that thing, and so the sort of joke essentially that you decided to thread into the plot becomes like 10 times bigger because the player doesn't understand the joke. The character therefore doesn't understand the joke, and another character has to explain why it's a joke. And I just need you to know, Sam, at this juncture, I did get you to roll for it. And if both of you had failed the roll, I would never have told you. I would have let it slide. Because the information would have been enough.
Yeah.
But I did need you to roll.
I think we probably would have gotten there, just not as quickly.
Not as quickly.
Partly because it was like, hey, do the obvious thing. And I was like, oh yeah, the obvious thing.
Do the obvious thing. Just say the information and see what happens.
I also watched it back because I was trying to work cutting, so cut things from this show, and I'm trying to also look into cutting it to put onto TikTok or something, just put little segments. I was just like, maybe we could do that one. I've just been busy, so I just haven't. But I watched it again, and I was laughing just hard watching it back.
I tried not to laugh and tried to just record a little bit of it, and then went, no, I can't not laugh at this. This is actually that level of funny. So yeah, Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Let's move on from that though, because I will laugh at it all day, forever, just repeatedly in ad infinitum, because I could. Whew. Sam,
looking
is there
forward to
anything
going
else
back to
about
that
you
one.
that we need to know other than
No, I think
we need to get some pop culture into you?
Very specific pop culture. Yes. No, that is all.
Okay, Jamie, please.
That's me. I'm Jamie Collette. I'm a voice actor and director. You can find me on my website, jamie-collette.com, or on Twitter @MuffinManifesto. And in case anyone thought any idea was ever original, a friend of mine sent me a message as soon as we sent out our tweet today saying, "Oh my God, you're in a thing called Unlawful Disorder. That was the name of our D&D group 5 years ago where we played cool anarchists." And I'm like,
Yeah, but Jamie, we're not cool.
A friend of mine, well, I think they did a podcast, and I won dice from their show.
Oh, amazing.
And that was just after I think we started this. So
it is a well used it's not a pun so much as an antonym, but I think I play a cool anarchist.
I'm glad you think so.
Other than that, I've just had that ADHD brain rot this week a lot, and so I've been playing a lot of Twilight Imperium, and I've been voicing a German prince for a Victorian romance novel, which has been lots of fun.
Wonderful.
And I'll have more details about that upcoming, but you can also find the audiobook I narrated, The Slob's Guide to the Perfect Job, on Audible or any other book place thing. That came out only about a month ago.
Very good.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Oh, actually, one other thing. A throwback for about a year and a bit ago, I directed a production of Richard III for Streamed Shakespeare, and it is now officially available for free on their YouTube. It was a pay-per-view event, but it is now available for free, and I highly recommend it. Charles, who played King Richard, is a tour de force, and the whole cast were fantastic to work with. So.
Wonderful.
Amazed.
Right.
Michelle.
I typed my favorite 3 letters into a manuscript today. FIN.
Oh. What you were going to say then? Congratulations.
Yeah. So for the project that less than 5 weeks ago, I was thinking, I'll probably get bored of this, but I'll see where I go with it. Hit the final count is a smidge under 110,000 words.
Very nice.
So, and yeah, I was reading a little bit of it to my sweetheart today. I do what I call an audio edit pass. Literally, I just read the whole damn book out loud, because often I find that reading it aloud finds places that, because of the way my head works, it sounds okay read, but when you say it out loud, it goes, there's just, no, can't do that there. Yeah. Not as clever out loud as it was in my head. Got it. Common problem I have, actually.
Yeah, I get that as well. I have to read everything I write out loud before I can be sure that it makes sense to anyone other than me.
So yes, and there were a couple of spots she was all but having to run to the bathroom because she was laughing so hard at a couple of the character antics, and she's basically so I may actually pitch this one. I was thinking about self-pubbing it again, but she's really strong on the idea that this might be the one that's worth pitching. So
Nice.
may start sniffing around and see how that goes. Yeah.
That
But
sounds amazing.
yeah, After Living for Guys is the title of the book.
Oh.
It's a buddy cop sitting on top of a paranormal romance. A vampire and a nun get tasked with the job of investigating a murder.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So, and I had a delightful time writing the two characters. It's just been fun. It's just so much fun. I'm almost disappointed I'm done, but at the same time, yay. So
That's what we want to
yeah.
hear.
So yeah, exactly. So otherwise, that's pretty much the big things with me right now. As always, you can find me on Twitter, MichelleV69, and TikTok under the same rough set of letters. So yeah, there I am.
Amazing. I am Chantel. I am the chaos fae of Sydney, Australia.
Hey,
If
your chaos goes further than that.
thanks for
credit.
noticing. I have been Gen Conning from afar because safety, but also
Yep.
I'm in a different continent. Hey, that also.
That's some good practice of social distancing.
Thank
Yes.
you. I socially distanced from Gen Con so hard. I was in a different continent. And it was very fun. I
Good.
played a Kenku, a very anxious Kenku called Anx. Who, when someone used calm emotions on them, turned into a killing machine, or a strategist that was like, okay, so this is how we're going to kill him. And
You wouldn't like me when I'm calm.
they spent a moment just going, what is this feeling? I don't like it. So yeah, that was good. Hopefully that will be available somewhere online at some point, or I will pull clips from it when I inevitably am avoiding other work. Otherwise, you can find me on wordswithcolor.com. It's outdated, but you can find me there. And I am still working on my thesis, but I have been pretending for the last month and a half that it doesn't exist. So, I'm around. And I am one of the writers on, I say I'm one of the writers, I haven't done any work for it yet. On Scriv's Bard RPG, which is amazing. It is amazing. What I have seen of it and what I have been looking at and reading and seeing of the art that is in that book. So yeah. Should we play a game?
We can if you like.
Yeah, why
I
not?
seem to remember shapely calves stepping from a portal. I'm stressed. Let's go to the intro. Bam! We have returned.
All righty. Welcome back.
Thanks.
All right. So as I recall, things were getting a smidge frantic, and then another transdimensional portal opened. Yes, and Genevieve stepped out, essentially in the demonic priestess attire equivalent of demonic bunny fur slippers, with martini in hand, and was looking around, slightly perplexed at what was going on. Looked at you lot, looked at the thing lumbering down the hill, and literally looked back into the portal and said something along the lines of, "Who sent that here? Get rid of it!" And that's where we left off.
Actually, the fact that she was faster than the cats, I'm just saying, the fact that she was faster than the cats. Where are the cats right now? And if you tell me they're doing a musical,
Surely the cats only intervene when you're in like imminent danger.
Oh, like a giant voidal demon.
Which is currently like a ways away from her, shooting a dragon and an invisible dude.
If she had known all she had to do was walk up to it.
Hey, hit me!
Hello, almost. She got very badly hurt.
I'm just gonna say, suddenly Alexandria is the group's new tank, which is to say, she keeps jumping in the way of incoming fire just to get the cats to show up.
Look, whatever works.
So, Genevieve is going to look at the unfolding disaster around you. Keep in mind that all of the time that you have been fighting, trying to keep this, the militia, if you will, the caravan guards, have been basically fighting a, crossbows with bayonets fixed kind of battle to protect the caravan against this, sort of oncoming rush of these scorpion-esque demons. And there are bodies littered everywhere. They're just not, all of your troops are pretty badly beat up. So far, any time we've done a check on Twist of Fate, there haven't been any there have been no unrecoverables. But everyone's beat up. There's, et cetera. And Genevieve is going to look at this, look back towards Alexandria. Just give me a wrist. Come on. She passes the martini back into the portal.
My wrist.
Yes.
Why do you need my wrist?
Darling, I don't know how you think this works, but I'm going to need some blood if I'm going to bring in reinforcements. I get to open one of these from my side, and then I'm going to need your help from this side. I can't use mine. That's cheating.
I don't want to use Whisper of the Wild so early. However, it feels like a bad idea. Just funny how
it feels like you need to use it twice. It's like, is this a bad idea? Yes. Should I do it anyway?
Is this a bad idea? Are you sure? Oh man. Whisper of the Wild then, I guess.
I didn't use it at all last session.
I didn't.
May as well get rolling early, right?
I'm not going to ask, is this a bad idea? That's a stupid question. She knows the answer to that. I'm not going to ask.
She's learning.
Ask a question. What is the question?
That is the question, yes.
Oh, how do I phrase this? Is she going to do with my blood what she's telling me she's going to do?
Yes. Okay. Basically pulls out what looks to be a small, almost diamond or crystal-like thing like that. That's all been very neatly carved into a bowl. Pulls out a very sharp-looking little blade. This is going to hurt a lot. Boop!
Ow!
It does, in fact, hurt a lot.
Take that ow and retract it.
And the peculiar is that as the blood falls into the bowl fills. The vessel remains empty. The side is being absorbed into the crystal of the.
Right. Do I take damage for that?
Narratively, it doesn't matter. We're in narrative time. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
there's no. Interestingly, one of the odd tricks of as soon as you drop into narrative time, all your health. Basically, as soon as you are out of initiative time, you are quote fully healed unless you've taken fatal wounds.
Huzzah! I am perfectly fine.
Yeah. I will. If the wrestling match between the dragon and the Voidal demon, the Eater of Fate, is narratively going to be, leaving dents in the ground. They're going to be throwing each other around, blah, blah, blah. But mechanically, there's no damage being taken. It's purely.
I see.
Just because it looks rather quaint to have these two in the back. Well, and Alexandria and Genevieve in the foreground going doink, and you see these two woo in the background woo.
Tasty.
Small flashes of where Spider is.
Season with a spider and a dragon.
Yes.
Season to taste.
So, I suppose she's going to look at you as though this is a perfectly reasonable question. Have you ever? Do they know how to fight alongside demons, or should I just summon them up further up the hill so we don't have to worry about a crossfire? Well, I don't know how you train your troops.
If I was there right now.
If you were here right now, it would mean that we don't need her. Please don't take them anywhere near my people.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Oh, and don't go through that. You won't like it. She says, gesturing at the portal that's currently open. And in her demonic bunny puff slippers, she goes trudging up the hill.
I'm sorry, she goes trudging up the hill and just leaves this perfectly good portal just sitting here.
Yeah,
we lose another party member by wandering through a portal we shouldn't have needed to.
Okay, look, Alexandri isn't Lucas.
No.
3 years of hero's journey later. How did your campaign end? Oh, ADHD.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Also, how did your campaign start? ADHD.
True.
Be a full circle moment, really.
Yeah.
She and in short order, she ends opening another portal. This one's about the size of a garage door for perspective, versus the slightly narrow, more personal portal that she opened up to chat with you with Alexandria.
I see. This is my casual personal portal. My other portal's a Hummer.
So after a few moments, the portal fully forms. reality rends itself open. Nature is intently disliking this entire process. So the storm is intensifying. It's getting to the point where it's actually getting hard to see because of the rain sheeting down, the blasts of wind and stuff. And if the ones that are currently attacking look like scorpions, the ones that come charging out of the garage door look a little bit more like praying mantis.
I made those.
And they go, I was
me.
just going to say, and they just, it's like kicking an anthill. Suddenly there's this, torrent of these things that come pouring out of this. They're about the size of a small horse for perspective. So there's this, and they're just streaming straight out of the portal, straight into this mob coming down the hill. And there are bodies flying everywhere. And I think something that is not going to be lost on either of you, no rolls required, is the demons that were attacking the caravan are turning around to attack the things coming out of the portal. This is almost this is not my enemy of my enemy. This is, I hate that one much more. Your work, that's pleasure. I'm going that way.
I don't know why, but this reminds me of like when you're working on something or when you're at your day job and then that bitch turns up.
It's Karen.
I will absolutely take time out of my busy day to wreck yours. Absolutely. Yeah, that's...
Opened up a portal, walked onto the wrong street wearing the wrong colors, and
So what are Spider and Hero doing?
Yeah, so what does this Fate Eater thing do in response to this? And is there a kaiju battle involved?
Not yet. I think the biggest problem is right now there sort of is a kaiju battle. It's just that one of you is hanging onto the kai. So I mean, it's very preoccupied with the obvious dragon that has been belching fire at it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Smithers had turned up yet to deal with this one.
No, Smithers has not shown up yet, and technically he, I believe he's not allowed to for another week or so. So that would have been something I think everyone had been very intently studying the calendar for about.
They don't have their planar hall pass.
They're on a no portal list. So yeah. But so right now, at least, it like I say, the thing that for both of you is going to be most obvious is the fact that there's obviously a third faction which has joined the battle. And from Heo's position, you can clearly see the new portal. Right. I'll leave it up to you, Jamie, if Spider would be in a position that they would glimpse the portal or just see its effect of this, like I say, these praying mantis type demons that are charging out on the battlefield. And the two factions of demons, well, I guess is the most effective way of describing it, are ruthlessly rending each other apart.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a noticeable event. I think once Spider sees this and sees that the big thing is at least distracted enough with Heo, even though all of its wounds seem to close up every time we stab it, he's like, oh, it's go time, I see. And then like stops helping and starts running back to the caravan.
Gotcha.
So here was like purposely staying like equidistant between like caravan and the creature, so you could keep an eye on everyone. So sort of was a little on edge seeing the first portal open up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like we're gonna, but it, as I said, it was like, oh, they're not. Wait, all right, go work our way down. So, but yeah, has just sort of been like, keeping an eye on what Jennifer is doing, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but is also, I think there's been a degree of like, partly because it's difficult to tell where Spider is.
Yes.
It's been less like just sheets of fire, because
Mm-hmm.
if he knows where Spider is, he can just like exclude that spot from
Right.
because he can just manipulate the fire, because it is ultimately all just magic. But it's like I don't know, so he's just doing much more like tight precision points, which are upwards, including at some points as the storm gets worse, seemingly like not catching, but like just redirecting the lightning down. So
Yep.
like it's like, well, it's like it's all energy manipulation, and it's just like it's like normally fire is just what he's better at, but it's like, well, if it's going to be a precision strike, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's just been sort of like, and also partly he's not trying to set him on fire, he's trying to stop him from like having his like regeneration or his life.
Yeah.
So he's trying to do something similar to stun, and mechanically would be doing the thing where it's like, you don't get to concentrate on that anymore. You don't get to.
Yes, exactly.
That goes away now.
All right. So, Genevieve will dart back down the hill, look at you. I'm not even sure we speak the same language. Hang on, I'm trying to ask you a question that's not going to have you throw up on my feet. Just one sec. I guess the question was, well, is there anyone here you mind if you mind if I sacrifice them? She's gesturing towards the caravan.
You cannot sacrifice anyone.
Okay, come with me then. And she heads back, and she heads out towards the middle of the battlefield.
I thought I was gonna like start to investigate this here portal. Really?
I wasn't interested in it, but then you told me not to go into it.
Yeah. How could you say something so dopamine-inducing?
Jennifer was like, wait, that's all I had to do? Oh, fine.
And now she ruined it herself. So, Alexandra will look at the portal one last longing time and follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, basically, she seems to be trying to get enough of these of the other things chasing her around. Literally, like she's just running through the gaggle, randomly hacking at things and hurling blasts of ice at things until she's got a decent-sized parade following her. And she's going to yell at you, "Get the dragon to nuke that!"
Help!
She is, I might add, making a beeline back towards the caravan with the parade following her.
Help!
How essentially is like, as I said, is like between like pinpoint shots of fire and then like just redirecting lightning, kind of just like sort of turns and then just like gouts of flame across this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Has an air of it being an afterthought. Not kind of focus on this, but sure, we can just like whip that through.
What is Spider doing at this moment of curiosity?
Yeah, I feel like this is about when he reaches the caravan, because he runs real fast.
Like
as he's approaching the caravan, he pulls the ring off and sort of like appears, and like I imagine, and this is because this is how I would be in this situation if I were a trained soldier that had just been fighting demons, and then the demons turned around and fought the other demons. I would be in shock and just being like, "What the fuck's next?"
Which one do we shoot? All of them?
Yeah,
None of them? I don't know. Reload!
Like, when you're fighting for your life, and then suddenly your enemy's like, I don't care about you anymore. It's a bit like, what? Spider just like he goes into giving orders, and and I imagine the sergeant commander fellow probably helps out as soon as like the shock's over. But yeah, Spider's just like, we're going, go.
Pack up, we're leaving.
Right. Forget packing. Take anything. Take as little as possible. We're going. Get.
So I think that
grab the wounded and go.
Yes, exactly. So I think Spider definitely will be close enough to see what happens. And of course, almost by definition, so is Alexandre. So the blast of fire ripples across this gaggle of demons chasing after Genevieve, who is running along with her inner demonic bunny slippers. And
how close is Genevieve, A, to Alexandre, B, to the caravan?
A dozen yards. Two dozen yards from the caravan, dozen yards from Alexandre.
And running away from it or towards it?
Parallel to the shoreline. So this massive wall of flame bursts up, and it becomes very obvious that there's something wrong, because dragons usually don't breathe green fire. Well, it didn't start green. The fire that Hale breathed was clearly the usual fire colors. But then what you realize is that as the bodies start falling, the fire that is consuming the bodies is this green-purple phosphorescence. And in no time at all, that entire conflagration is this mess of this ugly, sickly green fire. And at that point in time, for lack of a better way of putting it, she goes into the full evil priestess routine. She grabs one that's going by, literally just kind of clotheslines it so it stops moving, whirls it around, drives a dagger into its chest, wiggles it around a bit, pushes it forward, it falls over, it begins to make fizzly pop noises. A blast of lightning arcs down from the sky, and it hits the thing that she just stabbed, and it anchors itself to that point. And you start to see a tornado forming around that. And then she's going to do it again. And so there are now two small twisters, which are slowly forming together. And what she's in the process of constructing, I think anyone who's got a vaguely passing idea of what magic might be, is she's in the process of using infernal magic to construct a storm elemental.
Cool.
So this thing is literally pulling its shape out of the life forces of the slaughtered demons, and from the actual hatred of reality itself to even having it here. So essentially, as the storm becomes more intense, the storm elemental is becoming bigger and more intense. And in very little time whatsoever, yes, you have a kaiju fight on.
I speak for Alexandre when I say I think it might be time for a lie down.
I think there's definitely that moment as like Spider is probably whipping on the reins to get things moving, where it's like I could shoot that motherfucker.
Yeah, you could.
But
do you really think Alexandre can take over that task right there that she's got going?
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's like there's definitely that bitch. Oh, but that bitch might actually be helping right now. And Spider is no longer vengeful.
Ooh.
Yep.
What, may I ask, is La Chanson doing right now? What's going on here?
I guess the best way of describing it is, you have actually heard this before. The Chanson is arguing with other music. It's the best way of describing the sound of what's going on. It's dueling banjos, only one of them's a speed metal band.
Actually, this is like super relevant for me from last session as well. I'm just gonna ask you straight up. There's no like perk or flaw for this, but maybe there is. What does the song want Spider to do?
A GTFO is the closest answer. Yeah, you are doing exactly what it. Get away, get away, get away.
Right.
For
So
lack
it's
of a
not
better way,
it's not a engage kind of duel.
no, this is absolutely that sensation of let them all kill each other. You know.
Does Alexandria get the same sense?
You are hearing the music noticeably differently. And like I say, for you, it is that sensation of listening to two competing sources of music arguing for dominance over the scene that is unfolding before you. The chanson is this rolling sound that you're accustomed to, and then, like I say, it's like someone's trying to do a mashup with a speed metal band. It's discordant. It's syncopatic. It's all of these really odd tonal qualities that don't even really feel earthly, I guess. It sounds, and where if it is, the definition, I suppose, is comes right down to the difference between noise and music, and the difference is math, right? Noise has no math to it. Music is entirely math. And so, if you will, you're kind of hearing in that moment, I think you're possibly glancing this ideal, this underlying conceptualization that the song is very much order, and this other thing you're hearing is very much not.
Is the other thing coming from aforementioned portals?
Doesn't need to be a roll. It's not a roll. No, it's coming from Ch5.
I see.
This is the effect of her. You're now that you're paying more attention, you're digging into your surroundings, in that out of body kind of way. You are much more aware of the fact that this discordance, this chaos, began when she began summoning the Storm Elemental.
Right. Is the sound that I'm hearing the same as when we ended up by the river?
No, that was an entirely different type of thing.
Completely different. Okay.
Yeah. That one sounded more like the if you will, the best figure. Now that you're wiser and much older and have more experience behind you, the best way I can explain the experience at the river now that is, it's as though the song was a dam that was overwhelmed and burst, and that is the sound you were hearing.
Right.
This is competition.
I see.
This is the song, and whatever it is that Genevieve is doing, or whatever power she is using, arguing about the nature of reality, I guess, is the highest level explanation I can give you for what you're hearing.
One last question. Where's Gromare?
Interesting. So what's been happening, by the way, is that Granite and Venomfang basically have been holding down one part of the camp along the river, preventing you from getting essentially attacked along the river's edge. And Grand-Mère was basically holding down the other side by herself. Because she realized you guys were getting flanked, and she said, I got him. It didn't quite turn out that way. She's been reminded she's not 27 anymore, but
gonna go help out there, I think.
Yeah. So as the caravan is slowly stuff is getting thrown on top of things, and people are jumping onto wagons, and the caravan is getting rolling, literally breaking camp in some cases, as in, pulling up stakes, literally. Grand-Mère is running along with, kind of sort of not quite the last helicopter out of Saigon, but certainly, needing a helping hand to get up on the back of the second to last caravan cart rolling out.
Well, I'm gonna give her that hand.
Yeah. So as you guys basically charge off along the river, you are left with this image of Genevieve walking into the smaller of two portals, that portal closing behind her, and this massive storm elemental literally in fisticuffs with the Eater of Fate. They are beating the shit out of each other and destroying a significant chunk of the army around them, which is also very busy attempting to kill each other.
Cool. It's Saturday.
A couple of hours later.
So Genevieve just leaves?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's here. Kill that. And she leaves. She doesn't trust you any more than you trust her. She's not sticking around any longer than necessary. As soon as she can't find Alexandre, she leaves.
I think
she's very aware of the fact that she would fit between your molars. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's sort of like doing this like a hovering rear guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Genevieve has actually left, it's like,
yeah,
all right. And then speeds after the
yeah.
Now that he can fly faster, he speeds after the caravan.
Yeah.
Be careful. We just got it moving.
He can catch up. He can just and once we've got a bit of distance, he'll just probably revert, but stays here for a little while.
All right.
Maybe go ahead and land, and then just wait for us to get to you, rather than scaring all of the animals.
He's not gonna. He doesn't get that close. He's been doing this a while.
I know we want them. I know we want them to move, but in a direction though.
The river's a direction.
My goodness. Please.
So I'm curious, what does 2 hours from now look like for you lot?
Because it's the middle of the night as well, still,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
I mean, 2 hours is enough to feel like, okay, they're not coming back.
Right, yeah.
At least if they are, we can't stop them because it'll be through a portal, right? They're not chasing us. Right. And so I think Spider calls a halt to the caravan again because it's time to treat the wounded and, like deal with shit.
Yep.
I think because Spider actually has a decent learning stat, which is like the one physical stat that gives you heal. Yep. I think Spider is quite well versed at treating wounds. I don't know that scorpion demons create exactly the same kind of damage as a Confederate law enforcement. Well, that's a phrase I wasn't expecting to say. Anyway. But I imagine them with the same sort of level of brutality, just maybe from like the lawful and chaotic end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Both equally evil.
Yeah.
It
And
just
so
No.
Sorry, so neutral. So neutral.
yeah.
Interestingly, almost all of the mental stats allow you to heal.
Yes.
It's
And
actually learning logic and
Oh, okay. I thought it was
and presence is the other
yes,
one.
yes,
The
presence. You can literally,
non-magical
you can,
ones.
yes, presence.
God damn it, you feel better now.
You can convince someone they just have to walk it off.
It's funny, Shani, that's where you went, because I went, I'm here. You feel better now.
Feel good.
Yeah, you can
Feel fucking good now.
flavor like there was a character I was considering at one point, which was just like kind of the bard or like paladin who is just sort of like keeps people healthy by just sheer charisma. And it's just like you see them in battle and you just feel better. You're just like, yeah, okay.
There are actually a couple of perks that do
Yeah.
that. There's one of them
Yeah,
essentially
exactly.
every time you score a critical hit, everyone around you heals. Because you just look so damn inspiring.
Actually,
I want to be like that.
that's a design space I've played with, because one of the characters. So this is a very minor tangent. I'll do it quick, I promise. In the Viking game that I was working on, am still working on, one of the character types is the banner, which is like the leader, the person who wants to be in the front, inspiring people, and that's exactly what they can do. Like when they lead from the front, everyone else gets good stuff, and it's like a really nice design space because it like encourages you into being a hero.
Yeah.
And encourages you to like not do the thing of who wants to go first? Me always.
Yeah, me always, but like not for myself, obviously.
No, not for just me. For everyone's sake, I will go first.
So who wants to go? Oh, they've already gone. They've
gone.
Yeah, we should
I'm already
follow.
there.
We should follow. Oh dear.
Follow. You don't have a choice. It'll make you feel good mechanically.
Yeah. Just so the old Dragon magazine used to have a goofy comic strip in the back, and they just basically it was mostly lampooning various D&D tropes. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, and they got there because it was the 80s. Someone thought it would be funny to use this as an exploration of women's rights in D&D, and so all of the reasons that women's rights are probably something we shouldn't discuss in a dungeon. And so you see the bard sweep it, pull the door open, gesture. The lady walks in, he closes the door, and then you hear the rah! Noises from the other side of the door. Maybe letting the lady go first isn't the best plan.
I mean, it is if you want to get things done.
Opens the door. Monster head rolls out. Never mind.
But it's just like I said, it was just such a very 80s kind of thing. And it's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Alexandria would be doing the same thing. Alexandria would be healing. Alexandria doesn't need to think about it, though. I've got Boon Focus 1 of heal.
Yeah,
so
you literally walk around and people heal. Yes.
Yeah. I Jesus around and people heal. I also have extraordinary healing. So anyone that took fatal wounds even.
Yes.
I'll spend a little bit more time with them, or I'll need to spend more time with them, but I can just, and you are healed, my son. Go out and fetch me a sandwich. And then the next person.
Yep. And so you have quite a collection of
Recover my teapot. You may have my cup.
No.
I have seen a beehive. Go fetch me honey.
Someone merely just like pretending to be you started a cult. So
I feel like I could do it though, you know? If someone like me can do it, then I can do it.
Well, I have been quoted as saying that one of the greatest acts of hubris any GM or writer will undertake is a time travel plot. This is tempting.
Oh, actually Alexandria all along. Here does spend a bit of time, like again, keeping enough distance to not spook the animals, but is essentially doing like a patrol around. Is just rapidly flying around, occasionally sort of stopping to like look in various directions or just scent the air.
Yep. Some point about 15 minutes after you folks had departed, there was a detonation which actually registered on the Richter scale. But I'm pretty sure that Heyo would have considered this an excellent example of when not to turn around and go be curious.
Yeah. It does kind of feel like what happens when you bundle a lot of energy together into give it form and then leave. And just allow the chaotic energies to be chaotic for a bit.
Yep.
Like at some point it goes critical.
Don't I know it? Welcome to Daybreak Prep Season 3, y'all.
But yes, at some point, Hio just sort of lands, and then becomes Mysel again.
Okay. So
Mysel, who does the sort of like again, like sort of takes his bearings, stops, thinks for a bit, and then just kind of probably can't hear him because he's a distance from the thing, but just starts cursing. Because while Mysel looked at the Eater of Fate, or what was I wrote it down, Thelatir Ufitir. Couldn't quite remember it, and then but Hio does. So now Mysel comes back. Mysel's like, "That's who they sent." Against a caravan? Are you crazy? Walks back after collecting himself.
All right. So, the rest of the evening will be quiet. You know, essentially, again, Alexandria would know, and Mysel would know that the kind of essentially arcane logistics required to uncork the bottle the genie bottle you guys saw is absurd. That's not something they're doing again anytime soon. That was probably a last gasp attempt by somebody about something. The puzzling part that the statement of the obvious is, why did Genevieve interfere?
That's what Alexandria was about to ask Gromer.
And who the hell, if it wasn't her?
That's not even a question Alexandria's asking right now. That's too much. It's too much.
That conversation's coming. Don't you worry, there.
Damn it.
Spider wants answers.
Every time Alexandria tries to dodge a conversation. Zing, zing, there it is.
You specifically dodge conversations that kind of need to happen at some point.
Yes. Do you not?
It's called dramatic tension.
What's the point of dodging conversations you want to have? Stop.
I didn't say that you don't
executive dysfunction, yes.
Correct. Only dodge what you don't want. But right. Alexandria does go over to Gromer and say,
in fact, you don't actually get a chance to ask. She looks at you and says, "What have you done?"
Me?
Yes, you. Did you see this? Of course you saw the size of that thing. But what have you done?
This time? I don't think... I mean, look, I gave. Had you seen her before?
Who?
The woman that came out and started running around and killing demons.
I was a little preoccupied, she says.
You didn't see her at all?
Well, I got a break when the other set of demons showed up, but
Yes.
she seemed to be, but you and she seemed to know each other, so I wasn't worrying much about it.
Ava, and the only thing I've done, is give her some of my blood to help with that process. That's all I did.
Pardon?
I said I gave her a little of my blood to help with the process.
Your grandmother is instantly going to develop what can only be referred to as grandmother migraine face.
I wouldn't say that Chantel knows that face.
I think Mysel was walking up because he's like, "Oh, you didn't see? I can show you an image of," and then like, here's what, then just like turns around. Like, no. I'm gonna go talk to the all the people in the caravan whose auras are fucked at the moment. We're gonna go have a look at it. Yeah.
Oh, I see you have ADHD too. Do anything else?
There's going to be this brief pause. She's going to look up from her feet, look squarely at you, and say, "Do you want demonic invasions? That's how you get demonic invasions."
I didn't do the first one. This one wasn't me. That wasn't me. I didn't do it. I don't even know if I can.
Well, by definition, my dear, you just said that implies the second one you did. If the first one wasn't your fault explicitly, then implicitly.
If I hadn't, you wouldn't have had the break from the other demons, so I helped.
Be very, very careful, she says, wagging a finger at you in grandmother-esque style, which is completely at odds given how she's dressed and with a bandage around her leg and blah, 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 looking absolutely, like every other adventurer.
But she really doesn't need, because Alexandra already healed it, but, sure, yeah. Okay, make me feel bad, sure, okay, go.
But, I think a better way of putting it is you've already healed it, she just hasn't taken the bandage off yet, because it's just... but yes, and there she is, decked out as an adventurer, ostensibly your caravan guard, giving you the grandmother finger. And I'm just going to tell you the dissonance there is a little much.
For Alexandria or for everyone else around?
I think the answer there is yes, but I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll switch scene to Spider very quickly. What's Spider up to at this point? At this point, there are so many talented healers getting around doing things, and because of the nature of the battle and what have you, because there were no really bad dice rolled in any of the fate checks we did, if you will, there's nothing here that, particularly at the point you have access to the kind of healing magics that will fix fatal injuries. Then everyone is kind of going, wow, I wasn't sure I was going to get that arm back. Hey, cool, my fingers work again. Yeah, that kind of, gosh, I'm a grunt narrative that you're used to when people first encounter serious healing magic, right? Your guts are fine. They were hanging on the ground a minute. You're fine. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of situation that was a very intense, 45 seconds where we probably expected to lose most of the caravan, and from their perspective.
Oh, absolutely. It went from
oh, 45 seconds where we're all going to die, to, oh, only 2 or 3 of us are badly hurt enough that they're going to die, to, oh, none of us died. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. And that's before a reinforcing demon horde showed up to defend you.
Stick with me and you'll never go hungry again. Okay.
I think the scene I'm interested in, I guess, is Spider was helping the doctor and whoever else was doing, the non-magical healing things. But I imagine that it doesn't take long before the, like, what the fuck was that moment occurs to the people of the caravan and whoever's and the people leading them, So
Well,
I
yeah,
imagine
absolutely.
Spider is about to deal with that.
I think
Probably
there's
with
also,
Mysel.
I imagine, because like with the healing, by the time like Mysel returns, I guess the healing, the physical healing we've done, but I think between like just the way Mysel perceives the world and also can just attune more specifically should he need to, he does like a quick sort of walk through the camp to just like essentially get a sense of like who is doing, like who's, everyone's physically fine, who's doing badly like mentally, who needs like, and then like either he or like will tag Spider or tag like one of the caravan guard leadership to be like, you need to have a word with this person, just let them vent, or what the degree of like they need to do this person needs to do this, that person's on a tether.
Yeah, so the short version is let me back the truck up for a second. And when you found out the thing's name was the Eater of Fate, what was your first reaction?
Who?
Yeah, who's the question?
As players and characters.
I don't know if anyone else knows that beyond Mysel.
Very good, then. Fair enough. Then as the players, what was your collective eat moment?
The scope, I guess. It's like, it's like someone wanted to stop the group so badly that they've summoned this sort of like voidal demon of legend.
Now imagine you're a caravan guard.
Yeah.
Everybody's traumatized.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. At the risk of being more 80s than usual, congratulations, you're a survivor of the Hiroshima bombing. How do you feel about this? There's just traumatized is at the beginning of the list at that point.
I was more sort of like I was like, as a base sweep, he's like, no, everyone's got troubles. The reason he was trying to get a bit more specific was like, this person needs like to sort of help them out. They will require this. And that's going to be best served by Spider or by the captain.
Gotcha.
Or
Okay.
by
So
myself.
what you're trying to do is ensure that the right people are talking to the right people to accelerate the mental, the emotional healing process. Got it. Okay, I mean, that makes perfect sense. So almost
my understanding of that kind of event and at this scale is that it kind of filters bottom up in the sense that, like, the leadership of the caravan guard, the protective mage, the captain, the doctor, they're the ones looking after people now, but they're also going to need to come to Spider because he's like the person who then has to explain things to them. So that's I think Spider's waiting for that moment.
As a psychologist, may I just say, having been dealing with a pandemic for 3 years, in the real world, there isn't that. We don't actually have that. There is no one. We every psychologist sees and might see another psychologist, but there is no guaranteeing that psychologist is more senior or more healthy than you. So there was an app set up for first line responders and second line responders but there weren't enough psychologists who were mentally okay with what was happening to sign up to work as part of that app. There just are not enough mental health professionals in the world to deal with this kind of scale. So have fun, Spider, because
I know.
I know what that looks like, because I've had some psychologists sitting opposite me.
Yeah, and Spider just quietly not a psychologist.
Yeah, that's why I said good luck. That's why I said it, because good luck.
This is why we're using magic to get to like. It's like we're just gonna talk to them. We're like, no, we're gonna specifically do. Don't worry about it. We'll there's only so much we're gonna be able to do in this given moment, but we're gonna do the best that we can. Specifically, the best.
Suffice to say that it doesn't take very long at all for the initial euphoria of "Yay, we lived!" To turn into what the fuck was that? And do we have to worry about this as a routine occurrence?
No, but maybe yes.
Under the category of if it happens once, that dramatically improves the odds of twice.
We're gonna have to do Foil Demon 101. And it's gonna be reassuring and not reassuring simultaneously.
At the same time.
Isn't it sad when this is technically Voidal Demon 102?
Oh no, but the guards get 101. And then maybe we won't know.
So, at any point, do you three sit down and chat together about what's just happened? Or are you just all so busy individually that you're just not going to get there before?
Well, I think that conversation's coming, but I think Spider needs to have the chat with the captain first.
Sure.
Potentially, when does the chat between the three of us probably also might help having Elena and the captain and
yeah, exactly.
Have
well, so the good news is that for no reason I can come up with, other than absolutely brilliant fucking magic, is that we haven't lost anybody. We had more than a few people who were in a position to be using their guts for garters at one spot. We had more than no few number of poisonings and broken bones, but none of that seems to have stuck very well. I can't say anyone's crying about it, but it was a pretty painful process at the time.
Well, I didn't hire you to look pretty.
That's a fine thing. You wouldn't be leading by example, sir. He gives you a wink.
I think that's the first time Spider's smiled since.
So I'm going to ask the obvious question. Was that unusual? I mean, the child dragon breathes fire child thing was a little odd, but we're all getting used to that. But was that normal for you?
Well, it was an escalation in scale. But you probably understand why we keep a dragon around.
I've heard a lot of odd things come out of the mouths of field commanders in my tenure in this job. I think you just took the cake.
Truth is, obviously, this journey isn't just about making money, though I assure you, you lot will make a lot of money.
I'm just going to say, the only way I can figure if that, he says, gesturing over towards the nearby hilltop that's currently empty, but sort of under the, waiting for it to lumber over the hill again, kind of thing, is, if that is what's figuring into your financial calculus, I'm going to be building myself a house out of gold bricks.
It's funny you say that because I want to. In preparation for this conversation, I was pulling up the rules about wealth levels, and
yeah, they're
because
ridiculous.
yeah, I mean the stage that we're at, and this is why like sort of some of the background stuff I was laying down while we were in Cliff Spider is Spider generating a whole network of like thieves, money launderers, etc. You know, the whole thing is because we have the effective wealth level of a king or president. Like we can casually expend on a stronghold, or the examples they give in the book for other genres are a jet fighter or an elite covert task force. And
yeah,
we do have a jet fighter. Her name is Elena.
I think we're technically
when you're a jet. Sorry.
We're one category down from king/president.
I have a +1 wealth level from.
Never mind.
From the
You're at king.
business. Yeah, exactly.
The homeless child.
Well,
is at Chancellor.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so now keep in mind that initially there was that brief little detail, if you will, about because you had all abandoned your homes, run off on a lark in the night, and been hiding under assumed names and things like that. That for a while at least your wealth level was a bit of a mess.
That's it. We were all operating below capacity.
Right. And so, but yes, as a result of all of the things that have gone on, and you having established, that was part of the background of you establishing, bases of operation, people you could talk to, that sort of thing. Yes, you have, quote, healed that damage to your wealth level. So yes, the group is, you guys are 6th or 7th?
6th, and then there was
and for you get the
setup
+1,
thing, while working alongside sisters.
So yes, and in point of fact, I'd like to point out to you that you technically do have the beginnings of a task force. You've got the
exactly.
And
that was sort of where I was going with assembling this character. Like in that period.
Narratively, yes, you folks are in a position right now that if this stopped being about money a while ago.
Yeah.
If what you wanted,
there's also 30 people here who do just want money. They don't want to fight demons, and so you have to offer them a lot of money.
The way that I tend to look at it as well is like wealth of influence. So like if I needed to acquire this, then I could probably acquire this. I don't need it right now, but it would be there if I need it.
Yes,
is how I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, in fact, I believe the way it works, if I recall correctly, is that if it's your level of wealth score or lower, you just go get it. It's not even up for discussion. If you can shop higher, it's just that it may damage your wealth level to do so.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Anyway, that's not
the
kind of thing I'm going for anyway. The point is that these guys are here, and they wouldn't be here if we weren't paying them really fucking well.
Oh, absolutely. But that doesn't change the the sort of the in the moment. Oh crap! The insides don't belong on the outsides.
Yeah, and so I think Spider says to him, "If you want a brick shithouse, you've got it." I missed the word in the middle there. If you want a brick shithouse made of gold bars, you've got it.
Well, I mean, I'm not turning around and walking back at this point, he says with a laugh. Not by myself. So I guess we're keeping going that way. All I'm trying to get a head around is what to tell everybody else, is if this is kind of be, post the nightly watch, get ready for the demon portal, the usual.
Yep, totally with you on that one. The way that I managed to deal with the fact that this kind of thing happens is that if things that look like that are after you, you're probably the good guys.
Kind of pauses for a moment. You know something? That's not a bad way of looking at things. That's a rather nice change, actually. He says, he actually going to stroll off on that note.
There's like a nod of like, yeah, I know.
You're probably the good guys. Damn, I'm one of the good guys.
And yeah, I think there's like just like the first still quiet moment for Spider at the end of that, and it's just like the cinematic moment is the song theme plays for him and he's like, ah, fuck.
Very nice. All right. Next morning, sun is coming up. Smell of breakfast is wafting through the camp. Inventories are being taken because stuff got left behind, and trying to figure out, how much damage did we do in our escape, kind of thing, that sort of stuff, and a bit of a buzz. Everyone's in generally good spirits. A lot of head scratching, a whole lot of, did you really see? Oh yeah, no, I'm talking teeth that fucking big, mate. And I think at some point in time, you four will all be sitting at the campfire with your breakfast in hand. Granite is off watching Thornfang stalking some poor defenseless saber-toothed tiger or something like that.
I was just waiting to see what you said. It was
poor defenseless saber-toothed tiger. Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. It'll put up a fight. It'll keep Thornfang happy.
It's not a cat person.
Thornfang knows better than that. I feel like Thornfang's smart enough not to go after one of the cat people.
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe.
I was just going to say, Thornfang
usually picks off things. Sorry.
Yeah, Thornfang is absolutely your typical gothy teenager. If it's going to be way too much work, they'll just go to the snack bar.
You say that like the gothy teenager does not have the better idea. I would do the same. Is all I'm saying.
So yeah.
So we've got like the three of us.
Yeah.
Is like Elena and other people there, or is it just the three of us?
As you please. I'm asking the players to set the scene they want. You have the pick of the camp. By definition, you all can't sit around the same fire. So people are coming and going. People all know each other. There's all kinds of no shit there I was stories that are floating around. The length of your fire blast has grown 3 feet per retelling. It's been retold 70 times so far.
Quite a life or death battle against Voidal Demon to really bond a group.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the story that you hear about Alexandria and this mystery sorceress, out there with fanged axes, hewing down demons and using them to fortify the defenses. And you missed that part, by the way.
It doesn't feel so heroic when you're hanging from a demon's eye.
If no one has any objection, Alexandria's not like sitting on her grandmother's lap, but she is keeping her close. Like she's just like, yeah, look. It's one thing when it's just my life, but now also you're here, and like, yeah, you can handle yourself in a fight, but you take more risks than I do, and that's concerning.
I mean,
so
you can look after yourself in a fight. So could Chevalier.
Yeah, and let me be very blunt. Your grandmother was one of the people you had to heal mortal injuries from.
Yeah, exactly.
Chevalier learnt it from somewhere.
Alexandria learnt it from somewhere. Between the two of them.
I mean, I think not a civilizing influence in this arrangement either, but Anyway, sorry, keep going.
You were just talking about setting the scene. I think it's just
Yeah.
the four of us at this
Initially, yeah,
like
okay.
juncture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mysel is sort of sitting there eating away at a. Mysel eats more than you'd expect for given that he's.
Mysel has food in his pockets.
Mysel always has food. Mysel at any given point, and I'm just gonna. I think it is Mysel at any given point can basically feed 6 people.
But if someone's going to give him fresh pancakes off the griddle, he'll take them.
It's sort of like adding food. There's this extra food. They're going, where? What? The amount. It's just like.
But where did you get a kiwi fruit though? I don't know here.
And he's just, he's sort of sitting there quietly, and then Mysel pipes up. So, do we want to talk about how there's clearly an extra party involved now?
I haven't been drinking nearly enough for it to be an extra party.
Because the people that I would have assumed sent that's a big deal. Like, I know that creature's name. Big deal. That's a named, known creature. That is not a small effort to bring that thing here. And it's not been here for a while. And the person I would have assumed did it turned up and was very angry they were here. So who sent the other group?
Elena is going to look sideways at her granddaughter and say, "What did you do?"
Apparently I existed.
I tried that for a while. I didn't have that happen.
I guess I must be better at it than you.
Overachiever.
I mean, it's not how I'd phrase it, but she's not wrong.
So explain to me what's going on, somebody.
You first.
If I understand correctly, and I've not been traveling from the beginning, but if I understand correctly, the lady, Genevieve, who turned up and was irritated, has been hounding you from the beginning, I think, in a sort of mix of wants to kill you and or recruit you. And what I'm assuming is if I can't have her, no one can kind of situation.
Yeah, it's about right.
And she was the one that sent the last Voidal Demon that we had to tango with. And it stood to reason that she would have sent this one, only that's not what I saw. She seemed incredibly put out in the way that only she can when she's not getting her way. And then threw a tantrum, which in this version resulted in a swarm of, I want to say smaller Voidal Demon, but that's a relative term, obviously.
Yep.
But the big
That's
one,
correct.
that, I'm going to get this correct. That's Thelatir Uftir, or, also referred to as the Eater of Fate.
Right.
You turn that people would turn that loose on cities, and the city would go away. And someone decided to send that against. I want to say us, but I kind of feel like it's you.
Hang on. So, I'll remind the current speaker, she says, that the current speaker is a transforming dragon.
And I would like to remind you that I'm the third weirdest person of this trio.
I'm not going to ask.
Yeah, I think this is the first time where Spider like stops chewing and like looks at you.
Oh, I was ahead, and then I got overtaken.
Who by?
Spider.
Oh yes.
This, you and I, that was not a competition.
No.
And I
Although,
want clear,
in my
this is not-
defense, I am supposed to be in existence here now.
Yes.
You are not.
Yes.
So, practically speaking, you are stranger to, all of reality.
Yes.
So,
And yet I am still the third strangest. Given do you realize you're empowered by like a primal force of the world? Like, just fills you with energy and guides you. That's not common. In fact, it's immensely impressive.
Oh, come on. I'm just going to say at this point, Elaine is going to say, oh, come on. It's happened twice in our family. It can't be that unusual.
Well, I'm around 1,500 years old, and I've encountered it twice. And they're both sitting in front of me. And over here, we have the person who is kind of also empowered by a primal force of the world and time. And by time, I mean the actual concept of time.
I feel
The
like that makes
personification of time.
Spider worse, Like, I feel like that one makes Spider.
Potentially, it's new. So maybe Spider overtakes you.
Spider finishes like swallowing a big mouthful and it's just like been following this conversation, and then looks at Alexandria and it's just like, I almost shot your girlfriend in the neck.
I almost set her on fire.
Are we?
Hang on, says grandmother. Girlfriend. Come on now. Gossip.
No.
I mean, I
No.
would have. See, that's what I would have said. But then she turned up and saved us after turning up the last few times to fight us. And listen,
Not saying Jennifer
Lucas
Faber
had a
doesn't want
friend
it.
like that for a while who used to turn up to fight a lot, and then they turned up to not fight. You know what I mean?
No.
That's all right. You'll understand when you're older.
I don't know why the Eater of Fate turned up to eat fate, presumably. I am surprised I am alive. I'm surprised we're all alive.
Well, that's just because they underestimated you. You, Spider, me.
You would think by now they wouldn't.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking they're new.
Yeah, who is they? That I'm with you, and like looking at myself.
That doesn't make sense. You don't run for leadership and don't do your research,
Unless you're very desperate.
You're going to Elaine is going to speak up. You're going to find there's a certain group of people who only really have two settings. One is ignore the problem. The other is hit the problem with a bullocks. They just don't have any in between. And I find that honestly, the more powerful people become, they lose that granularity in the middle about what reasonable looks like. It's either not, it goes from being not a problem, not a problem, not a problem, not a problem to scorch that entire city block.
But that's my point. Essentially, they chose the wrong weapon. But if they know what they're trying to do, why send that one?
I mean, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but we weren't exactly making a lot of progress before she did turn up.
She wasn't happy, though.
I spend so much time worrying about Genevieve's happiness.
It's not that. It's more... if it was sent to make us trust her or something like that, she didn't expect it, and she was pissed off about it. Did you notice her shoes? They did not match her dress. She did not expect it.
Really bad night to be a villainess, I guess.
I love that was Alexandre's cue.
and Elena was, yeah, okay, I see what your point is. Yeah, all right. Yeah, no,
That's the takeaway.
Didn't have time to do the makeup and had the wrong shoes on. Yeah, no, that was not a plan.
She did the makeup. She just didn't have, like, the makeup may have been leftover from the day. She just didn't have time to do the shoes, and that's a detail that she would have caught.
So, who would know? And please say someone other than her.
Who wouldn't? It's gonna be easier.
No, that's a very long list.
Is it? At this point?
Who would? I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
No, probably not.
Mysel, who do we know who might know who sent a Voidal Demon, since we don't know who sent a Voidal Demon?
I mean, I could try and investigate the...
Is that wise? Last time you saw the concept of time itself.
Oh God, I don't know if I can find my notes fast enough. This is Jamie speaking, but I think Mysel was referred to us from the Ebonel family, right?
No.
Yes.
Mysel was not known.
No, that's right. The song sent you directly.
Yeah, that's that's correct. Yes.
Technically sent Hio, but like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. What was the matriarch? What was her name? Sorry, my brain's trying to recall a year ago.
Hang on.
And I don't know where that particular set of notes are.
Eshin Nani I Dashamali.
Yes, Dashamali, that's right. I think I think that's what, like, the next link in for Spider is like, who knows the most of the people that I know, and at least posits the idea. Says we could try and get in touch with the Dashamalis.
What would they be able to do about voidal demons.
I don't expect them to do anything, but they, well, and looks at Alexandria and is like, she might know who could send one.
How are you going to get in contact with them?
It's like side eyes at Mysel.
Met them.
Met Pathfinders.
Renamali?
Ramala, yeah.
Renamala.
Oh,
But
yeah.
do you even need to have met someone? You've like contacted my dad and you didn't.
Well, no, I didn't contact. To actually contact them, I'd probably. You need to know enough to use the spying bane, essentially. Which we've previously done through like a memory dredge to find Elena, but like I could just go for the ones I've met. There's also
that's right. I forgot about the memory. Yeah, you probably don't want to memory dredge me. You can.
I mean, we just look. It just needs to be specific memories, enough specific memories, so that we can know, get a sense of that person, so I can find them again. Do you know anything about the people that took your brother?
They would be the other group that would send at least, an army from this plane.
And have the ability to portal.
And have the ability to go through portals, potentially to a different place to place, or an entirely different plane.
They certainly didn't seem to have qualms about working alongside very mortally dangerous beings like the. Sorry, Jamie having another brain moment. The vampire things.
Yep, the Velbadron.
The Velbadron.
We assume it was them. We don't know for sure.
I mean,
But
they were
I see your
trying to
point.
let them in.
The Velbladram were already there, but I see your point still.
But the original two, someone let them into that like town.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the attack that occurred on the way station that you folks were at was because they sealed the place up tight at night so that things like that couldn't get in, right? Because they are shapeshifters and deceivers, one or two of those things would slaughter a place like that out of hand in the span of a few hours, right? So yeah, no, they were literally let in for some reason.
And Lucas was chasing a person who appeared to be running away because they were involved.
Yes.
And then a portal opened, they ran through, and Lucas just kept going.
Well, actually, a better way of explaining is that Lucas tackled the chap as the portal essentially the transfer spell went off. So what Lucas had been trying to do was stop the guy from portaling,
right?
And went through. It's just the problem is the one person who knows this, the one person who saw it happen, never told anybody.
As in told anybody that specific piece of information. Renee, she did tell us.
Yeah.
Okay.
They only told us that he went through, not.
Yeah, not how.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. How am I supposed to keep track of all the people trying to kill me? There's so many.
Yeah, and maybe we should make a list of the people who don't want to kill you. That might be quicker.
As far as I know, you. 3. Maybe 4 if Hale.
And
My
only
mother,
recently too.
my father.
That's not true, says it. That's not true, says the lady. I haven't wanted to kill her in years.
See? Not in years. Hey.
You're a very vexing teen, my dear.
Well, it's how I'm still alive. Still vexing. So, well, in about a week, we get another Voidal demon come to visit. So until then, do we try to get to where we're going as fast as possible, or do we just set up a holiday house somewhere and try to take a nap and a vacation so that we feel nice and relaxed when we reach eventually our inevitable demise? Because Genevieve's not going to help us with that one.
But
if she
will
still
she
sends
even
it.
send it anymore if she's in the business of saving you?
I mean, I feel like in terms of saving her, it was for later. Like,
I'm not a snack.
you say that, and yet she drinks souls.
Only on occasion.
Elaine is going to look over at you. You have very bad taste in women. I'm just going to say that now.
I have excellent taste in women. I have not chosen this one. She keeps chasing me.
Less suitor and more weird stalker.
Yes.
I mean, I was originally here to help reunite you with Chevalier and you with Lucas. We haven't looked too closely into the people who took Lucas because of concerns that might alert them. We don't want to sort of draw their attention early, and that ultimately we're walking in the correct direction anyway. But if they did send the creature, the Eater of Fate, then that ship may have sailed. Assuming it was them. And again, it might not be. But the list of people who are capable of both summoning that many Voidal demons and getting them to where they want to be, I can't imagine it's long.
At the risk of incriminating myself, you actually don't need that much horsepower to get a bunch of cheap demons.
But to move them to be right here, right now,
that's the easy part. The big thing is the hard part. The little ones, basically. The little ones is basically the equivalent of of sticking the hose inside of a hornet's nest. You just need to know where the hornet's nest is on the other side.
Sure, but the big one was there.
Yes,
we're including the big
one.
Yeah, I did more mean hit the big one as there's not a lot of people summoning the Eater of Fate.
Since I have no idea what you're talking about, I'm going to presume it's a pretty exclusive list. Yes.
Alexandra's going to stand up, walk away from the fire, and just walk off into the darkness. Not the darkness, it's the morning, into the morning. Yep. She's going to walk off into the morning. And when she gets a little bit away from the camp, she's going to start saying, Hey, I know you're out there. Where are you? Why weren't you there yesterday? I know you're here somewhere. And
it amuses me that there is a number of people you could be talking to right now.
I know
the
you
GM was
probably...
just sort of mentally doing the list of who's the most likely subject that should be answering here.
He's going to reply.
I'm just going to say,
I know who
can
she's
see is
trying to call.
all I can imagine was two portals opening up, a bunch of Luncan jumping out from one side, and a thieves guild coming out of a bush and all looking, going, I thought she was talking to me.
Right? Oh. And then Dina Favor turns up. No, she was talking to me. But that she doesn't get any more specific. She just says, "Where are you?" Can I roll presence? I feel like she's really trying on this one.
Sure. Let's see.
I don't know who she's calling. I don't know who she's going to call. But I feel like at this point there's some zealotry going on in that. D10. Yeah, there is. It's a 21.
Wow, that's a very good roll.
She is present.
Everyone is quickly reminded that when Alexandria is on, Alexandria is on.
Alexandra decides to make noise.
Okay, just one sec here. I'm looking up stat block very quickly.
Oh no. I mean, yay.
But also.
Oh no.
It's a moment when, as Alexandria walks away, Mysel sort of like sighs a little and is just like, sometimes I forget how young you are, all of you. And goes back to his breakfast.
There's like a few moments of silence, I think, while they eat, and then Spider looks at Helena and says, "My brother taught her how to play Centurion."
I'm not sure who I feel worse for.
The good old days, huh?
And where is it? There we are. 2d8. 2d8 and 3. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm just checking some dice.
The awkward moment where Alexandria wanders away from all support systems and promptly gets kidnapped.
And made fun of by the people she walked away from.
Yeah.
I should be clear. Mysel meant that in the most complimentary way. It wasn't meant to.
I know Mysel did. I know Mysel.
All right, so 2 and 13, and then another 12 is 24. Okay, and then I need to make one other set of die rolls, because this is just going to be fucking funny, depending what the dice decide. Because I've just decided that's how I'm going to handle this.
Yeah, there we go. There's some chaos. We love to hear it. I'm so proud. Love to hear it. This was not my plan, but I'll do it, because why the hell not?
Since you asked.
Since this is what you have decided on, good luck.
Okay. I thought I had her sheet. Oh, there it is. Okay, yes. And that's okay. The dice certainly have an opinion. That's a triple explosion. 3 times.
The dice said chaos.
So 24 on a D8. I just rolled a 28.
Okay.
So I think we're going to go to the break. Actually, it's almost time to wrap anyway. But I think what is going to wind up happening is, and I will let.
We have 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. And I'm not in a hurry either. If you folks aren't in a hurry either, then I can hang out here
Not in a
easily for another
particular
hour.
rush.
But I do need to go get a drink. I'm starting to run dry.
Yeah,
here.
let's take a couple minute break.
Yep.
To
But
grab a drink.
so simultaneously, a bush is going to get up, pull its mane back, and stretch. And this is what happens when Arnold Schwarzenegger is a loon con. And and he's going to deeply bow and say, "How may I help you?" At the exact same moment that one of Genevieve's portals begins to open directly opposite him.
Great. That's what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Yes, good. Let's go to a break so I can contemplate the sheer horror of what's about to take place.
Enjoy. We'll be right back.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You
Think they'd be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Not incorrect.
Leo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
So reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You.
Think they'd be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Not incorrect.
Theo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
So reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You...
Think don't be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Not incorrect.
Theo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
So reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too.
We're back. Oh. I froze.
Oh dear.
Give me 1 second. Well, no. I looked frozen.
So do I.
There we go.
On,
It's all right. I figured out how to fix this situation. I will. You stop walking away, and I will fix it, Sam. Please. Oh, you got back fast. Great. Good job. I will update that for everyone. There we go. Please, Michelle, take it away, and all of these people. Take these people away. Also.
Sure. So, the Lincoln looks at you, looks at the opening portal, looks at you, and then and then without really saying much whatsoever, essentially picks you up, rotates 180 degrees, and puts you down, and turns back around to face the portal.
You walked away from the camp. Are you out of sightline, or is it just a short distance from?
Just a short distance. I mean, I don't know that Alexandria would have walked out of sightline of you at the camp. She would have been aiming for out of sightline of the rest of the peoples, because they don't necessarily know that Luncon are around.
Right. So the three of us have also have a moment of like.
You also know where she's gone.
Oh, good God, no!
Basically.
Probably making her way over then as well. At least Mysel is.
So portal opens, two Oni step out, Genevieve steps out, Luncon looks at you, Luncon looks at them, pops claws, and gets ready to go to town.
One second, please.
What did you call me here for? Says the Luncon. And what did you call me here for? Says, and holding the martini glass, that as described by Sam, says, "Don't talk to me before my second martini."
Is this the second one, or is this the first one? I don't know.
You're having breakfast.
One way to find out.
Apparently, you were asking for me, she says.
I mean, you know what? I'm glad you're both here.
And that would be the moment that Mysel arrives.
Who did that yesterday? Who did that? Whose demon was that? Come on, apparently I called both of you here. One of you has to have an answer.
The Luncon is looking at you slightly askance. You are aware those are demons, he says, pointing at the two Oni.
Yes, they came through the portal, I know.
He's confused.
They're not going to hurt me unless she tells them to.
I'm just curious. Okay, so, all right. So, you're looking for answers.
Yes.
And I take it you are expecting that I'm going to give away that sort of information for free, yes?
Which one is this that's talking?
This is Genevieve.
This is Genevieve. You know, What did you get out of what did you get out of yesterday?
Orders, she said.
Ah, I see.
I was. She smiles sweetly and says, "You have to understand, darling. When you're in my job and your boss wakes you up in the middle of the night, it's almost never a pleasant experience."
I can't imagine.
So he wanted to know why it was I was trying to kill you. Since he and I have had that discussion lately. And I said, I'm not doing anything. Not this time, at least. And he said, well, you should probably look into that because someone's trying to kill her. So I thought I would drop in, social moment, see how you were doing, if your nose bleeding or not, that sort of thing. And I arrived to find out that somehow you've irritated the Eater of Fate.
I get around.
I'm sorry, your boss didn't know?
He didn't give me any details. He just told me he was upset.
They assumed it was you.
Yes.
So he
I
didn't
suppose
know.
that broadly implies that, doesn't it? I hadn't thought of it that way. Very clever of you.
So
That probably okay. That means a few things.
yes.
She's going to pause for a second. She looks at the front of her glass, has a sip, close enough. I actually don't know because the list is awfully short. I'll tell you what I'll do. And the Lone Khan is kind of listening to you two because, you're casually negotiating with a woman who just walked out of a demonic portal.
I'll get to that. I'll get there. There's a whole conversation to be had here, but sure.
There might be a little something you can do for me. So let me find out if I can do something for you first, and then I'll get back to you. She looks around. Bacon. Must be morning, yes? You said last night. Okay, so I've got a rough idea. Yeah, well, I can find you anytime I want. So give me a couple of days. It's going to take a little bit of time.
To do what?
To find out who sent that thing. That's what you just asked.
In exchange for?
I'll let you know once if there's no point in me putting my cards on the table until I know if I can even help. There's an awful lot of, let's be honest, dear. There's a very short list of people who even know his name. So the question is who and why. And honestly, my boss is going to want to know that anyway.
Why would you help?
She's going to smile for a moment. There are times I think you have an incredibly overdone view of the universe, but I'll make this one as straightforward as I can. At this point, it doesn't matter what you do. My side wins. And you're more interesting alive than dead.
How do you figure that?
Oh, I talk to dead people all the time. They have no personality whatsoever.
I didn't mean that part. I meant, how do you figure you win?
Syrinscape thrives on slaughter. At this point, I can't see a road you can take that doesn't involve some. The only question is how much. And either way, my part of the deal, if you will, is taken care of very neatly. So I'm feeling awfully gracious. I keep offering you chances to hold the reins, my dear, and you keep telling me you'd rather not know. So, I'll find out who your troublesome new adversary is. I may even dispose of them for you if they're going to be interfering with what my mistress wants. But, until I know I can hold up my part of the deal, I'm not promising anything. You know me. I always tell the truth.
Lol.
Thank you.
Oh, let him know, she says, pointing at the Luncaun, who's standing right there as she says this, that while I deeply appreciate his devotion to you, it would have been an incredibly poor choice of factions on his part. And with that, she turns and walks through the portal. The two Oni bow, and they leave. And then the portal closes.
Alexandre turns. Yeah. Alexandre turns to the Luncaun. So you see that? What just happened there?
It looked to me like you were consorting with a demon summoning sorceress and her minions, but maybe I misunderstood.
That demon summoning sorceress with her 2 minions came and saved us last night.
Interesting.
Where were you?
Well, I only arrived here this morning.
And the rest of you?
What do you mean the rest of us? Well,
Just you.
He's actually going to do. Please understand that I'm not sure it was ever fully appreciated that your idea of dinner company was a couple of demons and their mistress. I'll make sure next time there's going to be more than just me or just one of us hanging around keeping an eye on you folks.
Meisel's doing that sort of like just rubbing. It's like why do we bother? Why do we bother? Specifically warned you about this lady. Specifically. Right at the beginning, before we left, specifically warned you. Hi, I'm Meisel. You haven't been briefed. That's insane. And you need to tell someone about that because us, specifically warned you about that lady. Priestess is the word you're looking for. Not sorceress, priestess. So if you're surprised that she's here, what are you doing? She's a known quantity and has been for ages.
What is... Meisel? Meisel?
Sorry.
Simmer down. What is your job? What is your task?
Personally? To watch your progress across the plains. And should anyone try and interfere directly with you, convince them they're making a poor choice.
So,
at the point you walked essentially up directly to where I was standing and started talking to me, I presumed that meant you had something you wanted to discuss. Hence, I revealed myself.
Yes. Last night.
Mm-hmm.
An eater of fate, the eater of fate, fate-eating monster, demon, tried to stop my progress yesterday.
You don't say.
Why don't you seem surprised?
The opposite. I'm astounded. Because, well, this shouldn't be news to me. which means that the person watching over you last night neglected a couple of details.
Who was the person watching over me last night?
I am not going to discuss clan business, but I will speak to them personally about this oversight on their part. I am very sorry, my lady. He bows to you.
That's not just an oversight.
I'm attempting to give the other person the benefit of the doubt, beyond which point I would be obligated to simply kill them.
Don't just kill them.
Hence, I'm going to presume it's an oversight.
It might be more than that.
Can I speak with them?
You would need to come to the camp.
How far
That
away
would
is
be
it?
complex. He kind of looks over in the general direction of the caravan. That would be complex with that many outsiders.
How far away is it?
1 sec. Michelle has to double check the map. Okay, you guys and gals and non-binary finery are all about... Okay, yes, I remember. You are just about... Actually, at this point, you're technically just inside of Blessed Rock Kinslands. Because you had stopped about halfway between the Folly and the hill that sort of marks the beginning of the Blessed Rocks territory. And that puts you literally on the edge of Bloodpaw Guardian, of the island there that the Bloodpaw Guardian have claimed. So let me check. What's my map scale here? He's going to give it a moment of thought and say the primary encampment would be a day and a half from here for the speed you travel.
And if there were less of us?
I don't know how fast you can run. I mean no disrespect, of course, but I suspect I move somewhat faster than you do.
Can you fly?
He's going to... You get the sense that you almost got a dose of Lunkan humor, but then he remembers who he's talking to and says, no.
I think we might be able to keep up.
Well, your caravan is largely heading the right way anyway. I will be trailing along behind you until middle of the afternoon, at which point I will be taking my leave. I will move ahead as quickly as I can and inform the elders to expect you. I will then also ensure that the person who is taking my post is aware of where you will be going. And I probably think it would make a certain amount of sense that that be done closer to your supper time than later.
Okay. Okay.
In defense of the person on duty last night, while it could be dire and require, I guess, action, we are talking about an adversary that the literal fiend of slaughter is apparently unaware of. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for them to have manipulated the guard into inaction. If you have ways of checking if there's been some kind of tampering in that regard, I recommend checking.
We in fact do, because of our history. So yes, that will... Thank you for the advice. Your counsel is your rational counsel is valued.
Okay. Well,
he's going to pause for a moment and look actually at Mysel. And there's going to be a slight twitch of the whiskers in that sort of way that cats do when they're trying to figure something out. I sense something odd about you, an age that does not match your appearance. Please understand, before you vent your frustrations again, I'm considered relatively calm by my people's standards for a male. You are also roughly the size of a shot put.
I appreciate that. And I apologize for my tone. It's been a long day this morning. And I will also add, maybe talk to Shagauza and ask her how she thinks that would have gone for you.
He pauses for a moment, tilts his head. How do you know Shagauza? The lady is at best difficult.
Maybe just ask her.
I shall. I look forward to the story. And he's going to look back at you. I have no idea what you've been told. Obviously, you knew I was here, which, to the best of my knowledge, you're not supposed to. But since you seem to have expectations of what any of us might be doing, our job, essentially, is to stop those who usurp the will of fate. Assassins, specifically. There are those where a needle in the night is the most effective way of changing fate. We are not here to stop cavalry charges. There simply aren't enough of us.
I don't expect there to be, and I don't expect any of that. But I do expect what aid is available, if that is what you're going to do.
I will convey your expectations, my lady.
One more is still one more. And she says, "Thank you for showing yourself."
I could come up with no dishonorable deception that could continue. I only pray that my elders agree with my decision. Technically, this is tampering, he says.
Everything at this point is tampering. Thank you. And then she will turn and leave.
Okay.
As they're walking back, Mysel is going to say, I mentioned to the others that I sometimes forget how young all of you are. And I want you to know that I mean that in an entirely complimentary way. Because you all are all individually constantly impressive.
Old people can sometimes be impressive too.
I was including your grandmother.
I was including you.
Well played.
The other thing I get such. It's always. I don't know if enjoyable is the right word, but has its own kind of fun listening to Genevieve. Just listening to someone be that confident while seemingly so very wrong. It's just amusing.
I don't know. I don't know whether she is wrong necessarily. I don't know that she is lying either.
I don't think she's lying. I think she has I think her worldview is set. She sees the world in a certain way, and that is how she understands things. But her understanding is fundamentally flawed. And so while she is not lying in that she is not trying to deceive you, she is ultimately deceiving herself.
Which is not deceiving me.
No.
It is deceiving.
She believes she's won because she cannot envision a way of moving forward that does not involve slaughter. But just because she cannot envision it does not mean it's true.
I know.
It's just kind of fun to listen to when you do know. And disturbing because she has the power to, it's a mix.
She's my opposite.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Is what it is.
You have been cursed with a very interesting fate.
Now, why would you say that?
It's that idea of cursing someone to live live an interesting life. Because an interesting life is often one with huge peaks and very deep troughs. You are living a very interesting life.
Lucky me.
Well, at the very least, it's take comfort in that it is you. Someone else would probably get it wrong.
Alexandra doesn't know how to answer that. So she has a mild brain spasm while heading back to the camp.
Okay.
Spider?
Yeah, I think Spider's in his tent at the moment, but it's the flaps open, so
yeah.
I think Basil
it's not like just small tent, it's big enough.
Basil sort of gives Alexandra a bit of a grin at that last thing and wanders off to do some.
Yeah, and
sort of figure it out.
Yeah, and hearing he like pokes his head out. It's like, "You're right."
I walked out into the wilderness and called out to scold someone, and I got two someones.
Mhm.
It really is a case of, you know, if you just sound like you know what you're saying, people will come to be scolded by themselves. I spoke to
Oh,
the
so
long
you're
con.
learning. Sorry.
I spoke to the long con.
Do you want to come in?
Okay. She does.
Maybe close that behind you.
Oh, nobody's going to hear now. Oh.
Not sure. We want. Yes, not exactly soundproof, but you don't need to be shouting that out around the camp.
Oh. True.
Some of the people here might know what that means.
I don't know how, but okay.
You do remember, like, multiple people being torn to pieces in the streets of their city.
Yes, but they didn't know it was. Never mind. I spoke to them and I spoke to Genevieve.
There's definitely like Spider had turned his back during this conversation and was continuing to like pack things up. Like that's what he's doing. He's getting ready to get moving for the day, and he just like stops. Very slow turn. Okay, I thought we were gonna exhaust some other options before that, but
Well, it wasn't her. As it should be clear, it wasn't her because she came to help stop it. So it wasn't her. Her boss didn't know. It wasn't her. So woke her up to go fix the thing that she did that she didn't do. And so it was not her, and she's going to find out who it was and then be willing to exchange the information for me or us, or me probably doing something for her. She will be willing to trade that information.
it's times like these that I am glad that we have someone in our midst who can just extract that information without the need for torture.
I mean, I just asked in a
I
firm tone.
understand. Yeah, your leadership skills are developing very nicely.
I think it was the firm tone, but I also spoke to the long con, and he said, I asked why we were not sent aid because of the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
eater of fate, and they didn't say any. He didn't know. He was surprised. So that's, they may have a traitor to deal with, and I said I wanted to speak to the traitor, potentially traitor, before they did whatever they were going to do to someone who, you know, didn't mention that maybe it would be worth helping the person that they're trying to help when there is, you know, a giant sideways horse.
Yeah. I hope it's not that. The Luonkon are incredibly impressive and clearly very rigorous people, but they are still people, and you know, maybe not all of them are quite as zealous as the others.
You think maybe they just ran away?
Look. Cowards are more common than traitors.
I wouldn't blame them. But if I were just a coward, I would run and tell them that it happened and say, hey, look, I ran. And look, I'm alive to tell the tale of exactly what happened. Oh, no. Rather than, I won't tell them anything at all.
But that might work for you or I, maybe. But my understanding, limited though it may be, of the Law Arcana is that would be the end for them.
But it might be the end for them anyway.
True. Well, at least it's interesting. And regardless of whether it's a traitor, a coward, it sounds like it will be dealt with.
Well, I kind of said that I kind of said that I would try to fly and get to the Bloodpock with them to also talk to the person who did not do anything last night.
Is that a thing you're doing now, or is it some
I would kind of need some help from Mysel because I can't fly.
Well, I'm sure here would help, but I don't. Mysel told me that I flew, but I haven't quite worked that one out yet.
I don't know if I would feel safe flying with you.
Good. I'm just glad that you're not relying on that.
Nope, would not. I would rather ride several horses. Fast. Alone with Granite. In the dark. Down a cliff. Then rely on your flying ability.
Good.
Okay, good. Well...
Is it?
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. Is it always this loud?
I don't know what you're hearing.
You and Mysel were talking this morning about why you're here at all, both of you, and I mean, for you, the beginning was obvious, and it's only gotten harder. For Mysel, I mean, that's a transaction, really. Not that he isn't personally invested in, saving the world and stuff, but for me, this wasn't what I set out for. Getting you out of the city was just a good way to make some starting funds. But this world It's broken. And I'm not talking about the things we saw last night. Fucked up as they might be, they are some sort of existential balance, I guess. But the people in this world are suffering. And when you told me that the song left us unfinished and that's what you're meant to do, started to understand, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So while it's gotten harder for you, it's gotten a lot easier for me. Because fixing this world, finishing it, not ending it, like completing it, I have to believe that that would make things better for people.
What do you want me to say?
Nothing, I guess. I just wanted to know. I wanted to let you know that someone else believes in you.
You're hearing La Chanson.
And he just like nods.
When Lucas heard it, he got curious, and then he got upset, and then he was okay with it. Then he wanted to use it, and then he was upset. I don't have many friends. I don't know if I want to lose one. It can be very loud. distracting.
Lucas always did wear a lot on his sleeve. Talking like he's not out there. We'll get him back.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how things turn out.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
For what?
That you're hearing it.
You shouldn't be. You never got to make the choice to hear it or not.
No?
I don't think Lucas did either, but he's such an open book that it just flew right in. For me, it wasn't until that moment, knowing what it actually wanted, I think I kind of chose this.
Oh. I hope you continue to choose.
Those idiots back in Cliff Spider who were using your image, or the image I made for you,
Mm-hmm.
they were idiots. But they didn't have the wrong idea. Things need to change. And funnily enough, you can change them. They just didn't know who you were or how to do it. And neither did I. I kind of thought like they did not long ago, that maybe revolution was the way. I think the Dashamalis are still on that plan, by the way. And I am making them a lot of money. But this, and he's like sort of like gestures because it's like hearing it, you know. Might be a better way. I'm not generally fond of easy answers because they're usually a scam.
Good. It's
But
not an easy answer.
maybe not. I don't really understand that side of things, but compared to, you know, uprising, potential civil war, it's reshaping the earth kind of sounds simpler if you have the power to do it.
I am more like a potion bottle.
Okay.
I'm transporting La Chanson to where it is supposed to be.
I see.
I think. So what it does when it gets there, I don't know.
But you get to make the choice the way your grandmère did.
I don't know what that choice is. Nobody knows what that choice is. That choice might be, hey, do you want to start a revolution, or do you want to like stop a revolution? Or maybe it's do you want to open all of the portals to everywhere simultaneously? Or do you want to close every portal simultaneously? Or what if it's just like, hey, do you want a sandwich? I don't know.
That would be one hell of a sandwich.
Fucking better be.
Sorry. Jay, I, outside of the game, just thought it would be fucking hilarious if the end point of all of this is basically Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
I travel all this way. I am a potion bottle. I travel all this way. And in exchange, I travel home with the best wine ever tasted. But I have to drink all of it
But there
in
is
a
no
volcano.
cake.
There is no cake.
It's a hell of a story.
Gotta survive to tell it.
Well, I think you will. You know, I don't have many friends either, and I'd hate to lose one.
Okay. Well, I should go pack to go see the cat people. Do you think their entire settlement is a giant scratching post?
Metaphorically, maybe.
Just like catnip grass and a scratching post and
The size of
fish
their
pond.
claws. Can't even imagine what material they can use as a scratching post.
A tree. A good tree.
Maybe they live in trees.
Maybe.
Did you want me to come, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
I don't know how that's going to work with your caravan of people.
yeah. Could Helena stay here and keep things moving? I mean,
Probably.
I'm
She would be
pretty
safer without us there.
Well, I think the captain would do what I
She might not
told him.
stay.
It's just that it's weird to tell a guard caravan who are meant to be guarding 3 people to keep going while the 3 people go somewhere else.
They're guarding the caravan at that point. Which is the point.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
staying to look after the car.
right.
So we have
Yeah.
something to come back to.
Yeah.
We're just like
yeah.
dipping into the shop, and they will meet us like on the other side. They have to keep it going, keep the engine running. I don't know what I'm saying now.
I don't know what those words meant, but okay.
No, I'm just flustered. But yes, I don't know. Is the short answer. Gromer is coming along because she did something, and so now is making sure that thing can't happen.
Right.
But I don't know what that thing is, so she might not, or she might. I don't know. I'll go ask.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say is that I know it's a lot, but I do believe in you.
Michelle?
You've already used Whispered Wild.
I have, but I would just... Alexandre just wants to check in on Spider's ticking.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has concerns.
Mm-hmm.
What did I roll for that? Was that entropy or creation? I forget.
Creation.
Thank you.
All of your abilities tied to the chanson are creation.
I see. Okay. 26.
All right. So what exactly are you looking for?
She's just listening for the ticking. She was hearing the ticking before coming from Spider, and now she's looking for the ticking again. She's mostly looking to learn if it's sped up, slowed down, whether it's like harmonics with the with La Chanson, anything like that. Like anything that La Chanson is having some kind of effect or doing something. She just wants to know, like, what's going on.
So, I'm trying to come up with a way of explaining.
I don't like to hear that.
Well, I'm just going to say it's because I suspect I'm going to use the word that immediately comes to mind wrong. So I'm just trying to come up with a way to not use that word. For lack of a better way of explaining it, it's the same number of beats. They're just syncopated. It's as though the same amount of time is going by, but some of the time the beats are all clustered together. Other times there's these long gaps. Other times they're nice, even, neat, and tidied. Other times we grab one at the middle and jump it ahead.
Is La Chanson in any way connected to that? Like if Alexandre is listening to Spider as a whole, I imagine she would be able to hear what's going on, like what Spider's hearing.
So with a 28, I can quite clearly tell you that essentially the Chanson is fighting with whatever's going on around Spider.
Right.
I don't know if it helps you, Michelle, to answer the question, but I did do that thing that I messaged you about after last session.
Yeah, I'm actually. It's actually funny you say that, because I'm literally jumping back to check the message history to make sure I remembered it right.
And my last question that may or may not need another roll is the syncopation that's happening with Spider at all similar to the chaos of the music from the chaos of the noise or the music from yesterday?
No.
Okay.
No, if you recall the problem, if the thing that you found was that so far you've really only encountered two people with a tick or a talk. One of them is going talk tick. The other one was going tick talk. Well, now the Chanson is actively interfering with the tick talk, trying to slow it down or whatever. You're not sure exactly what it's trying to achieve.
Spider's tick is experimental jazz, and the song's trying to make it 4/4.
Okay. In that case, Alexandre says, I believe in you too.
I think Spider just gives her a wink and says, better get packing.
Off to go ask Rumhair if she'll stay behind. A more dangerous conversation has never happened. Alexandria is more afraid of dying to this than Eater of Fates.
Spider will just finish packing, but I will take this moment to reveal to the table and the audience that I have changed over one of Spider's perks to now have the Divine Agent perk.
Ooh. Fun.
And Divine Agent essentially means you cannot be just one-shotted. Any attack which will reduce him to 0 reduces him to 1. So
That's
in
exciting.
the way so whatever the debt was, that is this TikTok is separate, is the Chanson is actively trying to slow it down to buy more time.
La Chanson has
of
sort of bought the debt.
Yeah.
It's trying.
It's trying to purchase.
It's holding it in escrow for now.
Yeah.
But
It's paying
as
it
a minimum,
down a little bit,
as a minimum, it's in the process of trying. The pendulum swinging back has got a slow rope on it.
It's almost like La Chanson's taking you for a drive. We'll see. We'll see if we'll buy.
did like that.
Okay. Alexandria is concerned. I just wanted to leave that there. I felt like it should be said. Alexandria is concerned in so many different ways.
Absolutely justifiably so.
Thank you very much. I also feel like we should wrap it up, because given the time.
Yep. So have an idea what you would like to discuss with a bunch of very, very honor-driven, personal slight, easied, 300-pound cats who casually carve happy faces in oak trees.
I just want to give them scritches.
Yeah, right. Either scritches, or if Alexandria has. Let's find some cute
I want to give you
cats.
scriptures. I am a member of an ancient and honorable race of warriors. And I would like to give you squitches. Yes, I would.
Yes, I would.
That's what I thought. I'm very good with ears. Very good.
Yes. I just gotta say, this is sort of, like the equivalent of going coochie coochie coo to a Klingon. I mean,
Some are brave. Some are brave enough.
Need I remind you of Spider's response to the giant lizard men?
Need I remind you of Alexandri's response to the last cat?
Last cat. It was the first
La-
cat.
The first cat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah.
All right, folks.
we'll
Yeah,
finish
it
up
is
there,
coming up
'cause
on 1 o'clock in the morning. So I
Michelle
do
needs
need
to
wrap.
go to sleep.
Yeah, go do that
Bedtime.
thing. That's a thing people do.
Yeah, they do.
I'm told.
Particularly my time zone, yes.
Yes. Maybe even in mine. Maybe I'll take a nap. That sounds like a great
I'm
idea.
considering that too.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care of yourselves. We'll see you in a week. Bye bye.